Welcome to Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music with your host, multi-award-winning music producer, Eddie Kilroy. And now, here's your host, Eddie Kilroy.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of Kilroy's Outlaws, Legends, and Behind the Music. Thanks for joining us today, and I'd like to thank our sponsor, Total Feeds. Oh boy, without Total Feeds, we couldn't be bringing you this episode or any episode right now of Kilroy's Outlaws, Legends, and Beyond the Music. But, however, today we're going to talk about songwriting and publishing. And I got a story. I can relate to it because I lived this whole deal, okay? Everyone, or a lot of people, I was one of them, say they can write a song, okay? You write a song. You're at home and you're writing a song and you say, hey, this song's pretty darn good. What am I going to do with it? It would be perfect for so-and-so. It'd be perfect for so-and-so. And also it would make a girl song also, or perhaps it would make a duet. You have all these kind of ideas going around about what to do with your song. And don't tell me that you haven't been driving along, humming a tune and saying, hey, I could write a song. And you have this idea and you start writing a song about this or about this, and you're doing the best you can. I did it, okay? As a kid in Liberty, Texas, yes, I tried to write a song, and I thought it's a pretty good song. But what do you do with it when you get a song written? The first thing you have to do is you have to have somebody to publish it. They're called publishers. Yeah, that's what they're called, publishers. And they serve a purpose. They are a necessary vehicle for you to get your song heard or recorded. You go to Nashville, you go to New York, you go to L.A., you go to a major recording center where there are a number of publishers. Then you start knocking on doors, like an artist will start knocking on doors to get a record deal. And you start seeking an audience with a major publisher, maybe even just a new publisher, and hope they like your song and say, yeah, I can do something with that, and we need to do a demo on it. Or they may say, like Farron Young told me the first time I showed him a song, it wasn't worth a flip, he said. Go back and learn how to write a song. And perhaps you hook up with a publisher. They might put you with an accomplished writer that has had a lot of records and a lot of cuts on his songs, and they kind of tutor you and teach you how to construct a song. There's a way of constructing a song. A song can be, the architecture of a song is very important. Remember, I've said before, you got 3.5 minutes to tell a whole story. It starts and it ends. Where does the publisher come in? Well, first of all, the publisher has to be affiliated with one of three not publishers, actually clearinghouses and collection agencies for your royalties. One is Broadcast Music Incorporated, the other is ASCAP, and the other is CSAC. It seems like that the BMI and ASCAP, they kind of run neck and neck as far as getting the job done, collecting your royalties. So the publisher is an affiliate of BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC. Consequently, they can protect your copyright, they can protect your song, and more than that, they can get it to the right people. The people, if they believe in the song, if a publisher believes in the song, he's going to take it to every publisher, every recording artist, every record company, say this is just right for your artist. And that's what you call pitching a song. Let's see if they're right. Okay, you take a song to a producer and you say, you're doing this act and I think it would be really good, would you listen to this song? And they will get it listened to. You can't walk in to a big artist or a big publishing company or a big record company and immediately get your song listened to. Now, you can get a publisher to listen to it. Hopefully that's your starting point. Get the publisher in the boat with you. Get him to say, you have potential as a writer. They might say, you've got some good ideas, but they're not put together properly and constructed in the way that professional songwriters do. And getting back to putting you with a writer that is accomplished, that has written hits, knows how to put together a song, knows how to construct it properly, and then do a demo on it. But you've got to get that publisher before you do anything. That's your first step in getting a song recorded. They will take it to an artist that they think the song may fit. The song may not be accepted by the producer, may not be accepted by the recording artist, but at least your song got heard. And that's the main thing, is getting it heard. And if it's a great song, and it'll come out. Somebody will record that song if it's a great song. If it's a so-so song, you don't have much of a shot. But don't get discouraged, because you're going to write like 10 songs that don't amount to anything. Then all of a sudden you'll write that one that, bang, man, that's a hit. And you have to just keep persistence. Just keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Keep taking it back to your publisher. Once you secure a publishing deal, you take the songs to them. Say, hey, I got a new song. I want to come in and show you, see what you think about it. Take it to them, see what they think about it, see if they want to invest in a full-blown demo. In other words, taking it to the studio, getting musicians to present it to the artist and the publisher in a way that they can relate to it, showing the song, the melody, the lyrics, the whole deal. That does not guarantee you that song's going to be recorded. It's going to guarantee you that it's going to be presented in a professional way. So the first thing you do, you go to a major recording center where there are a lot of publishers, and you knock on those doors, like I said, and you go to those publishers till you found one that says, yeah, I think you've got potential as a writer. Though this song really doesn't have it. But I got a guy I can call in, or a gal I can call in to work with you on this song and make it a good song, because you have a good idea, but the construction is really lacking on how the song is put together. From that point on, you've got a relationship. You've got a relationship with the publisher. You've met another writer. They have publishers in Nashville, New York, L.A. They have what they call writers' rooms. That's where they put writers to write together. And they'll go in a room, and they may spend all day getting one verse written. They may get it written in 30 minutes, the whole song. The point is, you've got somebody to help you, to write with you, until you get on the right course and you know how to put a song together. Okay, we've come this far. We've got a publisher. We've got a demo. We've got the song done to the publisher's, satisfaction, and they're going to be able to take that song and pitch that song for you. Then how are you going to make any money off that song? Well, that goes back to BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC. You get the song recorded, it goes on the air. They collect the royalties for you. A song gets so many plays, and you get paid for that. It sells so many, you get paid for that. That's collected by BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC. And I think for sure that you have to hook up with a publisher in one of the major recording centers to get that done. But, I was in the same boat. I'd write songs in my hometown. I'd play them down at the service station, and they'd say, oh, that's great, that's great. Like I've said before, I went to Nashville, found out those songs weren't so good when professionals started listening to it. But I got to the point where I was listening to other writers, input from them, and knowing how to put a song together. And eventually I had songs recorded by artists like Mickey Gilley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Marty Robbins, Dave Dudley, so I can't remember them all. Had quite a few songs recorded, but not when I first hit town. I had people show me how to do it. I hooked up with a good publisher who would go out and pitch the songs to major artists and to major labels and to known producers that had a reputation of being able to recognize a song. Then all of a sudden you get one cut, then you get another one cut. And then all of a sudden new writers are coming to you saying, hey, you've had a lot of cuts. Can I write with you? And most of them will say, yeah, sit down, I'll see what you're like. I'll see if you can write or not. I had a good friend of mine that had written a lot of hits for a major artist. And I was talking to him recently, and I said, you've written a lot of songs or co-written with this artist, because most of the recording artists will first of all say, let me write with you. Why? Because they want their name on the song, and they also collect more money. They may not even participate in a lot of the writing, but their name is on it. And I asked this guy, really good writer, there's a really good friend of mine that's written a lot of hits, and he was writing with a major act. And I said, how's this guy to write with? Because I'd never met the act. He's a newer act, but he was big. And I said, how is he to write with? He said, he's a pretty good guy, but like most of them, after they hit, they're surrounded by people telling them how great they are. And the first thing you know, they get to believing it, and then they become more difficult to write with. That same guy, and I don't mind mentioning this name, that same writer was talking about writing with a writer by the name of Travis Tritt, artist, big act. I love Travis Tritt's music. And he said, Travis Tritt is the real deal. He knows how to write a song. So if you can hook up with one of those guys, they're not trying to take advantage of you. They will help you write a song. Some of them won't. Some of them will just like hold the paper while you write it. But by and large, that's the way you start as a songwriter. And I do this particular episode to help people out there that are aspiring to be songwriters, that want to be songwriters, that think they have it, and they may have it. I mean, you may be a natural born songwriter that you just go in there and write that song. An example of that, Billy Joe Shaver. Billy Joe Shaver was never thought of as a songwriter of greatness. He just wrote songs. It turned out those songs that he was writing that were just songs were great songs and accepted. Once he got into Nashville, bam, it was all over. Billy Joe Shaver was a hot writer. But so many people, like myself, did not know how to construct a song properly. Remember, I go back to that old story. It's like writing a book. You've got 3.5 minutes to tell a whole story, the start, the end, and everything that goes in the middle. And you can only have a short time to do that. So it takes a lot of thought, a lot of practice, and a lot of help from other people if you don't have the natural ability to do the whole song. And there are a few that did. I mean, I don't think Roger Miller ever asked anybody for help. He was born with that instinct of how to write a song. Curly Putman wrote many, many hits, but he teamed up with a guy by the name of Bobby Braddock. So they teamed up as co-writers, and they wrote a lot of hits together. Alone, perhaps they wouldn't have been that great. Together, they were great writers. Bill Rice, Jerry Foster, same thing. They wrote a lot of great songs together. I don't know if either one of them ever wrote a song that was a hit alone. So it's not bad to team up with somebody and co-write. I believe in that, and co-writing in Nashville became a very, very big thing. The old days, it was not a thing. Everybody just wrote a song, and they wrote it individually without help. And as the industry grew and the demand for a song to be so well put together, they started teaming up and writing together. So I want you to keep that in mind. If you're in a small town or a big town somewhere and you're an aspiring songwriter, sit down and at your piano, at your guitar, whatever. Or matter of fact, you can just, if you're not good at melodies, write some lyrics out. But don't make them a poem. Make them a song. There's a big difference between a song and a poem. So you have to write a song. And perhaps you can find a guy a friend of yours that can write a melody to that lyric that you've written. Perhaps not. Perhaps you can do them both. But the main thing is get the song perfect. Just like Harry Anderson. Dr. Harry Anderson of Total Feeds, he did it all. He's an accomplished doctor that did nutrition studies on equine, on bovine, on goats, on canines, came up with the perfect formula. He did it, but he constructed it perfectly. The same applies to a song. It has to be put together perfectly. So if you're an aspiring songwriter, I urge you to either look for somebody to write with if you need a little help, go to Nashville with what you have, go to LA with what you have, go to New York, depending on what genre of music you're writing, and go to publishers. Find a publisher, get them interested in you personally and your potential as a songwriter. They'll help you. They'll put you with somebody else to write with. Or maybe you might just take a song in there that you've written and just knock them on their butt. And they say, wow, you wrote that? I'm going to sign you right now to a writer's contract. All right, you're off to the races then. But it isn't always that easy. It's like anything else. The more you work at it, the better you get. And this is an episode we're going to wrap up right now. And again, thank our sponsor, Total Feeds. And don't forget about Total Feeds, because any animal, any species of animal that you have, you won't be disappointed with the results you get from Total Feeds. This is Kilroy saying adios, and God bless each and every one of you, and thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music. If you have any thoughts or questions about the content, email them. Kilroy Outlaws and Legends, all one word, at yahoo.com. That's Kilroy, no S, Outlaws and Legends, all one word, at yahoo.com. And don't forget to subscribe. Third-party use of any part of this podcast without the expressed consent of Eddie Kilroy is prohibited. The Kilroy's Outlaws and Legends Behind the Music podcast is a production of Eddie Kilroy.